Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and a very warm welcome to Bournemouth University. My name is Martin Hardwick, and I am the unit leader for family law and family mediator. First, I would like to thank His Honour Judge Richards, the lawyers, the professionals who've given their time to come and work with our students for this symposium. I would also like to thank you all for coming and supporting our event. The aim of this event is to demonstrate through the various role plays the difference between the adversarial and the other alternative processes available to families to resolve their disputes. And one process is not better than another, but one might be more suitable for a particular situation. They might work in isolation or in parallel with each other, or just complement each other. In our scenario, Ian and Vicky Humber, 51 and 47, are going through a divorce after a 12-year marriage, which is quite a long marriage these days. Although they separated on the 1st of September 2014, they are continuing to live in the family home, Drake House. Now this causes a lot of stress between them, and they have 3 children: Arthur, 11, Beatrice, 9, and Edward, 6. Vicky gave up a part-time teaching job 3 years ago to look after the children, and Ian has a full-time job and has quite a substantial salary. The main issues to be resolved are the arrangements for the children and the finances. So, as far as the arrangements with the children are concerned, the positions of parents are very clear. Ian would like an equal share of time with the children. However, Vicky feels that owing to his job, his very demanding job, this is not possible, and that it will destabilize the children. The financial issues are with regard to the family home, Ian's pension, and Vicky's inherited money that she has just received. The first 2 role plays, displaying the mediation and the court process, will focus on the children, and the following 2 processes will be displaying the collaborative law and arbitration process, and will focus on finances. So first of all, I would like to introduce the mediation process. In this role play, law students Toby Johnson and Lauren Hall will play the parents, and Ian and Vicky Humber. And they have come to see Michelle Bettel, family mediator, to try and reach an agreement about the children arrangements. So Michelle will say a few words about the mediation process.
And I just wanted to explain a bit about the mediation process itself, just assuming that you're not all aware of the mediation process. The mediation process is a process where parties come following separation to discuss arrangements following that separation, whether that be children, finances, a bit of both, to try and work out an arrangement that works for the whole family, that works for them both. The benefit of mediation is that the parties maintain the control, and the mediator is there to manage that process. The principles of the mediation process are that mediation itself is completely confidential, so everything that we discuss within mediation cannot be used as evidence in court proceedings. The benefit of that is that parties can come along to mediation and not feel guarded about maybe making some suggestions and trying to work out an arrangement that might work for them, But if it doesn't work out, or they can't reach an agreement at mediation and matters need to be resolved by the court, nothing that they've suggested or proposed can be used, or they're not bound by that in court proceedings. So for that reason, parties can come along to mediation feeling free and able to discuss what they want. It's their process, they keep hold of that. Now, the mediation process itself is a voluntary process, and nobody can be forced to mediate. I often get clients coming to me saying, Michelle, I'm here because I have to mediate because I need to go to court. Well, that is incorrect. What parties need to do, most parties need to at least attend what's called a mediation information assessment meeting, a MIAM. Now, that is a process that most parties have to go through before they make an application to the court. But the mediation process, where both parties are present, is not necessary. It's a completely voluntary process. I'm sure you can appreciate if I'm sat there with two clients, neither of which want to be there, neither of which are willing to listen to the other party or correspond or collaborate with one another, mediation's not going to work. So it has to be a voluntary process. So for the purposes of this role play, Ian and Vicky are here as parents. We're dealing with the children arrangements. Now, I've already met with Ian and Vicky for their initial assessment meeting, so I've gone through with them the different processes that are available to them besides mediation, all of those processes which you're going to see different role plays on today. And Ian and Vicky at this juncture have decided to attempt mediation. Now, I've already seen them for their initial assessment meeting. They're here, they've met with me, so we're going to go from here. Now, good afternoon to you both. Now, obviously, I've met with both of you separately already, and you'll be aware that I've emailed you both as well with the agreement to mediate. And I've explained to you both that the agreement to mediate I need to have signed from you today. It's your agreement to enter into the mediation process with me. I will also sign that agreement. Now, have you both received that?
Yes, we have. Yeah. We both signed this one.
You have? Okay. Do either of you have any questions on the agreement?
No.
Okay. So what I will do, you've both signed this one together. Okay. So I will sign it also, and I will date it today, but I'll keep hold of it today, but I will send you a copy after so you have a copy for your own records. Is that okay?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. So what I need to do and discuss with you firstly is we've got 90 minutes today, so an hour and a half. Now, I appreciate that's quite a long time, but believe it or not, that will go quite quickly when we start talking about matters. So I need to hear from each of you, please, what is important for you to discuss specifically today that you want to get sorted out. So I want to set an agenda with both of you. So Ian, if I come to you first, what's important to you to start discussing?
I think we just need to get something sorted. The children are really unsettled. It's just because there's nothing in place at all. So we just need to get some form of agreement in place. And we also need to deal with this stupid idea that that the kids have got to call their mum twice a week when they come away with me on holiday. This is just stupid to put a regime on it like that.
Okay, well, we will discuss all options and anything that's important to you both. I would say that, you know, within this process, you've both got a right to voice your opinions, and we will hear that, and you'll both speak one at a time so I can hear that from you as well. And we will explore that and probably reality test it. So, okay, so on your agenda, you want to sort the arrangements out for the children because the children are unsettled at the moment. And you also want to talk about some telephone contact in the holidays. Okay, fine. Vicky, coming to you.
I mean, for once, I agree. The children are unsettled, they do need an arrangement in place, and yeah, it's going to be good to air out a few things.
So you're both saying the same thing. You both believe that the children are unsettled at the moment. You're both living under the same roof, so I can appreciate that that's difficult for all of you at the moment. I can see that you're all in limbo, you don't know what's going to be happening. So would you agree that we need to talk about the arrangements as they are now, because you're still going to be living under the same roof for a little while?
Yeah.
So we need to have discussions about what the arrangements for the children are going to be moving forward, probably for the interim. Do you both agree?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So I just want to hear a little bit more from you both about the children. So obviously that's why you're here, to discuss the arrangements for them, and I like to know a bit about the children themselves. So Ian, how old are the children?
Well, Arthur is 11, Beatrice is 9 and Eddie is 6.
Okay, lovely. And do the children have any interests, Vicky?
Yeah, so Arthur does football, Beatrice does dancing, sort of like, you know, the stereotypical quite.
Okay.
They do love that, and they're doing the same thing as their friends.
Okay, fine. Do they do that during the week, at weekends?
Weekends on a Saturday.
Okay. Do they have anything in the week?
No.
No,
just
so
school.
they just do dancing and football
Yeah,
at the
it's an
weekends?
outside school activity.
Okay, fine. And that's something that they enjoy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So I want to talk to you both about what the arrangements are at the moment. So, Ian, I understand that you work full-time.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are your work arrangements?
I work 40 hours a week, it's just a 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, short commute.
Right.
Just as a senior project manager at a local construction company, so it's nothing particularly taxing on my time. I can leave the office on time every day.
Right, okay, so what time would you get home normally in a day?
Normally about 5:45.
Okay, and what time do you leave in the morning?
About 8:15.
Okay, so it's quite a full day. So who would be responsible for taking the children to school?
Me.
I assume you, Vicky.
Yeah,
okay.
always me.
Okay, and are you working at the moment?
No, I'm not. I'm a full-time mum.
Right, okay. And so what we need to talk about is, what's going to happen under your roof. Obviously, you've both been very animated talking about the children today and what interests they have. So I assume you're both involved in those interests. And, you're very lucky to have 3 children that sound wonderful. So I think we need to talk about what's going to make it easier for you all on a daily basis. Ian, where are you coming from at the moment? So have the children been talking to you about anything within the home?
Yeah, they have. They've said that they want to spend more time with me. They don't get to spend much time with me at the moment because Vicky looks after them a lot and takes them out in the evenings and things. I really don't get to spend enough time with them at all.
Right.
Because when I try and, pick them up and try and do a little bit more with them, it gets into an argument and we don't want the kids to see that.
No, of course not. Because for the children to witness or be aware of any parental conflict, whether it's in the home or outside of the home, would have a huge detrimental effect on them. It's very difficult for them to cope with that. I'm sure you can appreciate as adults, if there are 2 people that we love or we think, we're very fond of, if they don't get on, it's very difficult for us to cope with that, isn't it? So from a young person's point of view, from a young person who has a limited level of understanding, it's going to be extremely difficult for them. So it's really important that they're not aware of any conflict between the 2 of you. Vicky, what are the children saying anything to you within the home?
They just want to keep things exactly as they are.
Okay. But you both appreciate that things are obviously going to have to change. You've both said to me that the children are unsettled, so we need to look at the arrangements within the home. Vicky, what do you think at the moment with regards to what is happening? So you take the children to and from school?
Yeah.
Okay. And you want to continue to do that?
Absolutely, it's my job. I love doing it.
Okay.
It would just, I think it would keep them settled as well because I'd be there with that whole routine would be continuing.
Yeah, okay. Ian said earlier that the children are saying to you that they want to spend more time with you. And I expect they probably want to spend as much time, and it's their right to spend as much time with both of you as possible. I would say, bearing in mind the ages of the children, particularly Arthur and Beatrice, I just want you to be aware, and you may recall that I explained to you in our initial assessment meetings, that I can speak with the children if you felt that it was necessary and appropriate. So the children have a voice. And bearing in mind the ages of Arthur and Beatrice, they're probably going to want to have a voice. It's very difficult for them to voice their feelings to either of you. It would seem to me that they're saying similar things to both of you because they'll be in certain turmoil at the moment. They're not going to want to say anything that upsets either of you. They're going to want to say things that they think you want to hear. And a lot of the time, I would say, when I've spoken and seen children before, it's a very beneficial process for them. It gives them a chance to have a voice. And also, I will explain to the children that ultimately you as parents make the decisions. It's not the children that make the decisions, but I will report back to you both as parents what the children want me to report back to you. But my meeting with them is a confidential meeting. The only thing, so they may tell me something that they don't want me to say to you, which is fine as long as I don't think that they're at risk of harm. So I just want you to bear that in mind. That's something that could happen down the line if you felt it necessary, bearing in mind their ages, because it would seem to me that they're saying similar things to both of you. Okay, so Ian, your work at the moment, you want to spend more time with the children, but is that possible, bearing in mind you work 9 to 5, Monday to Friday?
Well, absolutely, given my change in circumstances, with what's been going on. I've talked to my boss at work who said I could easily work from home 2 days a week. Right. And so I could look after the kids, take them to school, look after them properly, and then work whilst they're at school.
But I just don't understand why this hasn't been an idea before. You've never been able to do this before, and now all of a sudden you can.
It's never been necessary before. You haven't been working. You've been able to do that all the time.
Now
the situation has changed. I've been able to talk to my boss, and we've been able to work something out.
Is this something that you've just discussed between you before, Vicky?
I mean,
has it ever been necessary?
I mean, sometimes it would be nice, but it's never offered. It's never been suggested.
Okay. And obviously both of you are going to have to embrace some changes now that you're separating. And I'm sure there's different things and different ways to move forward that you've both been thinking about. And Ian, obviously you've approached your boss to see if there's any flexibility there with regards to working. And Ian's come along today and said actually there is some flexibility. So as far as what the children are saying, what the children may want, if they're saying that they want to spend more time with each of you, and that being possible, then surely that's something that the children might like. Do you accept that, Vicky, or not?
I mean, I guess so.
Okay. So bearing that in mind, Ian, when can that flexible arrangement start working?
Immediately.
Oh, okay, so pretty soon.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So what would your suggestion be in respect of what the arrangements for the children should be?
Well, I would have thought, if I can take those 2 days off, say I take them off Thursday and Friday, that way there's no jumping about in the middle of the week. Vicky can look after them Monday through Wednesday and I take them Thursday and Friday.
I just don't think that's going to work. I don't.
Okay, why do you not think it's going to work, Vicky?
Because what am I supposed to do? Just sit at home and watch him go and get the kids and bring them back and go sit in a different room? And personally, I don't even think this flexible days is even going to happen.
Okay. Is there anything that Ian can do to provide you with that reassurance? I mean, would your boss be able to put something in writing in?
Well, absolutely, yes. I mean, I'd have to change my working hours, so I'm sure there'd be something in writing I can get to him. And the fact that I would be at home 2 days a week would also provide some sort of proof, I'm sure.
Okay. For Ian to do that, Vicky, like you say, it sort of frees up some time for you, doesn't it? I mean, being a mum full-time is tough. And surely if Ian is saying, look, I'm here to help you, would that help you out, to give you some time to sort out your plans moving forward?
I mean, maybe short term.
Okay. I mean, one benefit here, you both make the decisions. I don't make the decisions for you. But, one thing that you might want to try is an interim arrangement. So arrangement for the meantime or in the meantime. Because you can have as many mediation sessions as you feel you need and as often as you feel you need them. So if, for example, you agreed today that you wanted to put an arrangement in place to see how it goes, to see if it works for you both, most importantly, see that it works for the children, then you can do that. So I think, Ian, correct me if I'm wrong, but the suggestion you're making is that the children be with you for Thursday and Friday and with Vicky for a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Exactly.
So on a Thursday and Friday, what would the arrangements be? Would you be taking them to school?
Yeah, no, I do everything that Vicky normally does on any other day.
Okay, so responsibility would be fully yours.
Absolutely.
And Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it would be yours, Vicky. How do you feel about that? Or giving it a try?
I mean, we can give it a try.
Okay. And what about weekends? What would your suggestions be for weekends? Vicky, I'll come to you first.
I say alternate weekends.
Okay.
If we have to do weekends.
Okay. For a whole weekend?
Yes.
On an alternate
Yeah.
basis? Okay. Ian, what do you think about that?
I'd have to agree with that. I think that's the most sensible thing to do.
Okay. I would say that's not an uncommon arrangement to have in respect of children to see they're separated, to see their parents, because that way the children then get to spend quality times and get whole weekends with each parent, and also you can each have some me time then, which is really important. Obviously, this process in separating is extremely stressful and emotional for everybody, isn't it? It's tough. So to have some time for yourselves, I think, is really important as well. And it's good for the children. If you're both coping with the separation well, then they will also do the same. Okay. So what I'll do is I like to just, when an agreement is reached, I just like to make a note of that on the board so we can all see that. So I will do that now. So what we're going to say then is Monday through to Wednesday is going to be with Vicky. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Thursday, Friday with Ian. Weekends, we're going to alternate weekends. Now, just going back to what you were saying earlier, Ian, on your agenda, there was an issue over holidays and telephone contact in the holidays. We have a half-term holiday coming up. So we'd need to work out the arrangements for that half-term holiday. Vicky, what would your suggestions be for that?
I have the full week.
Okay. On your own?
Yes.
Ultimately? Okay. Ian, what would your suggestion be?
I think it's only fair if I take half, and maybe we even stick to that agreement there, and I have them for the second half.
So
the
you're
second
going to
weekend,
take the
Thursday,
time
Friday,
off?
and the weekend. Yeah.
So you take annual leave for the holiday?
Well, it would just be my normal working hours now.
So
I've got that
you're
flexible
suggesting
arrangement.
stick to that?
Stick to that during
Okay.
the holiday.
Okay, fine. Have either of you made any plans for the half term?
Yes, no, I've bought tickets for all 3 kids to go to their first football match on the second weekend.
The second weekend of the half term holiday. Yeah. Okay, Vicky, have you made any plans for that holiday?
I mean, no, but I have them every holiday, so we'll just do the things that we usually do.
Okay, sort of days out, day trips and things. Were you aware of the football
I wasn't.
arrangement? Okay. And would you have any problem with the children going to the football with Dad?
I mean, I guess not, but it's not ideal, is it, really?
Okay. And why would you say that?
Well, they're away from me again. But they're off for a holiday, and yet...
Okay. But how do you think the children would see that? How do you think the children would feel about going to football with Dad for the day? Or I assume it's a day?
Yeah, it's just a local match.
Okay. Do you think the children would enjoy that?
Yeah, they would enjoy it.
Okay. Because that's what we need to try and focus on as to what's in the children's best interest and what they would enjoy and what's best for them. I appreciate, as a parent myself, it's really difficult and you don't want, you want to spend all of your time with your children and you want to enjoy the fun times, but it's really good for the children to enjoy those times with each parent as well. It's their right, isn't it? So Ian, you're suggesting to keep this arrangement the same, but you'd want the second weekend in the holiday, so the first weekend would be with you, Vicky. How do you feel about that?
I'd just like to bring up the phone calls again, because I do think I'd want a phone call during that time.
Okay. You had a bit of an issue with the phone calls, Ian?
I just don't see the point. It's only 4 days. We're going to still be in the same house. We're not going away anywhere. It's not like I'm taking them abroad.
But I don't think that you understand how I will be with them. Well, I've been with them for all of their lives properly in a very different way to the way that you have, and then suddenly they're going to be completely taken away, and you're expecting me to do this.
Well, they're not going to be taken away. They're going to be in the same town. They're not even going to leave the house, really.
I just really don't think you understand how how upsetting this is.
Well, if they want to call you, of course I'm going to let them call you. I'm not going to cut off contact completely, but there's no point in putting a day or a time on it. It's just ridiculous. It's only 4 days.
I think that's really important what you just said, Ian, in that if the children want to, then they're able to. They're able to contact mum if they want to. Would that make you feel a bit easier, Vicky?
Yeah.
If the children wanted to contact you? Because I appreciate your concerns. You're feeling that actually it might be difficult for children to be away from you for a certain period of time. So if they find that, or they're distressed, or they want to call mummy, you have no issue with that?
Absolutely not.
Okay, fine. So if we just make a note on here then, for this half term, we're going to have the same arrangement as the usual arrangement, and that the children can telephone mum if they want to. And I would say in respect of that, moving forward, now I appreciate we were talking earlier about this being an interim arrangement, seeing how it goes, because it's a change for everybody. I would probably suggest putting this arrangement in place and come back in, say, 3 months.
I think personally I feel a bit easier coming back a bit sooner, maybe sort of just a month.
In a month's time?
Yeah.
Okay. Ian, what do you think?
Fine by me.
Okay. So, I mean, obviously it's up to you, it's your process. If you want to give it a go and come back in a month's time, that's fine. I have a note of your availability, so I'll send you out a date. If that's inconvenient for either of you, then just let me know. I would also say that if things are going well and you feel you don't need to come back as soon as a month's time, then give me a tinkle and we can perhaps rearrange and maybe prolong that a little bit so that the arrangement can get bedded in a little bit. Yeah. You've got the arrangement for the half term. I would say in respect of phone calls, this is a change for the whole family and for the children as well. So it's going to take a bit of time to adapt for all of you. And so just as if the children want to telephone mum, they can do. I think when the children are with you also, Vicky, because they're going to be with you for that extended period of time over the half term, if they want to phone dad, then they can if you're taking them away. Obviously, you're still under the same roof at the moment, but we want this kind of arrangement to be maintained for the long term if possible. Okay, so I think we're roughly out of time now. Do either of you have any questions or any concerns about anything that we've talked about?
No.
I think that's fine, thank you.
Okay, so I think you've worked really hard today. I know it's difficult being here. It's difficult talking about the children. They're obviously the most important people in your lives, but you've worked out an arrangement that's worked out really well, and I hope it works out well for you. I will send you out a date. I will just confirm this in writing to you as well. And like I said, just get in contact with me if you've got any questions in the meantime. I would remind you that as your mediator, I have to remain impartial. So if there's anything that you want to check with me, then I would prefer you do that via email so that can be shared with the other party so that my impartiality remains. Okay, so I think that's the end of our session today, and I'll send you out a date for a month's time.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.